Hello there guys, and welcome back to SimCity, Cities of Tomorrow. Quite a few of you have expressed an interest in the game and said that you really love SimCity, so I thought, okay, well I might as well carry on as I want to play more of this game, and this gives me a great opportunity to do it. I'm not too sure if building the Amiga Co was such a great idea. Apparently it needs power. We're not generating enough power now. That's probably mainly because of that stupid factory. In fact, we actually have a deficit. So what we're going to do is we are going to add another wind turbine or two to the existing power plant and see how much we can produce. Now, these only produce 3 megawatts, which means we need an awful lot of power to run that thing. That was probably the biggest mistake, was actually building that. So we're going to have to extend this road out a little. It's a bit of a strange, lumpy, bumpy road for it to be doing there. I suppose the ground isn't all that level. Let's get a few more of these in. This is going to be expensive. Not enough money. Do we have enough power in the region? Yes, we do. No, we still have a deficit. That's not good. It's this thing. It's taking it all. We're going to close this for now, just because it needs so much power we can't actually afford to run it. But we will get more power as we go. So now we've got plenty of power to power the rest of the city. Hopefully it will start to get there. Now we're producing the excess. It seems to be stopping here though. No, it is now finally working its way along. This was one of the bugs that I did suffer originally when I first started playing this game, was that sometimes power didn't get where it needed to go even if you had enough of it. But it seems to be working. So we do need to get ourselves some more money so we can get enough to build better power, just so we can get this factory running. I've never had a clue that it was going to use that much electricity. Oh dear. Okay, so a few of the things that I am going to need to get up and running are amenities, things like fire stations and hospitals and things like that. It hasn't actually asked me to build any yet, but if I don't, things are going to start burning down, people are going to start getting ill, and so on and so forth. So we don't have an awful lot of money, so we're going to speed time up a little bit. Why is one of these turbines not going? Ah, there we go. Now that's starting to look a little bit better. Now, how much is it going to cost us to get a fire station? 20,000 simoleons. Wow. And it raises medium wealth land value as well. That's something that I hadn't realised before. Okay, fair enough. So let's let that carry on. Wanted to place quietly. Life's good. I'm saving up money to buy a bigger house, so we are getting some expansion there. We could probably do at some point with another avenue connecting our industry to our main avenue, which will probably run down along the back of the residential, to be honest. Although, what you will find is even if we have a big avenue running from here down to the industrial, people will probably still choose to turn right here and travel down these residential streets. I probably should have made that an avenue, but it's quite expensive. Too late to do that now. I can't really do it without bulldozing everything here, which would mean getting rid of the town hall and the church, which is not a particularly good thing to do. So we are getting some more money. Now, I know I said I wanted a power plant, but if we can afford to put another one of these on, which we now can. How much are these again? 5,000. Let's have one more. It may seem excessive, but there is a reason for this. So what we can do now, hopefully, is turn this back on. Although it does actually require oil and ore. Yes, I'm really starting to regret building this now. But we've done it now, so we're going to play towards that. So we are going to end up building an oil derrick somewhere here in the middle of town. And that's really going to annoy the locals. But there you go. What can you do about it? Let's turn this on anyway. and see if it actually does anything worthwhile. Assuming, of course, we have enough power to turn it on. We do have an excess at the moment, so we should be good. And then as soon as we get enough money, we are going to go and build our fire station. Yeah, it's just without it, yeah, we need ore. So do you need ore and oil, or do you need ore or oil? Okay, I am now having a change of mind. I think I was rushing into building something new and building something fancy. And it's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is bulldoze. Don't want to bulldoze a power plant. We are going to get rid of this. Yes, it cost us a lot of money, but it's going to just make things difficult if I don't get rid of that. So that's gone. We may build it later on, but for now, we don't need it. There we go. Now, we don't need all of these turbines now either. So we're going to get rid of a few of them. We will leave some. But they do have a maintenance cost. So as you can see, each one of these costs us 40 simoleons per hour to have it running. So it does have, they do have a running cost. Of course, I've done something very stupid there. I could have left them there and just turned them off. Because when they're turned off, they don't actually use any power. Okay, so we have our first icon turned red, which is health. We are getting people who are sick or injured. So we need to build ourselves a clinic. Clinic is 20,000. Can't quite afford that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out a bond for 25,000. And we can now build a clinic. Now, it's a good idea to try and put it close to your... Have we just run out of money again already? Did I not take that bond out? No, apparently I didn't. Except, there we go. So, it's always a good idea to try and have your clinics close to your residential, but also your industrial, because your industrial areas tend to be where the most people get injuries, and your residential areas tend to be where most people get sick. So we're going to put our clinic here, and that will cover the housing. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to go into the clinic, and we are going to add an ambulance bay, because ambulance bay gives you better coverage. They're quite expensive. They're 10 grand each, so we're not buying a second one. And you get a certain amount of space in there. You get a treatment capacity and a waiting room capacity of 10. And later on, if we need to, we can increase that with waiting rooms. Not much point doing it at the moment, though. Now, we are going to need a fire service as well. And you can put more than one of these down to give them more reach. And then later on, you get things like the hospitals. But look at the price of it. It's not the fact that it costs 120,000 simoleons, because later in the game, that's actually quite easy to achieve. The problem is that it costs 1,700 simoleons per hour to keep the lights on. That's where the issues are. We have a demand for residential properties once again. Mainly low wealth. Which means we probably could build a little bit more closer to the industry. But I'd prefer not to. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a few more roads and run them off here. Now, I did say we were going to have some oil derricks running around here, and we probably will do. So what we're actually going to do is build some housing blocks here, which will probably all end up being low value because we're going to end up with an oil derrick right next to them, which they're not going to be happy about. And we're going to select residential. Now, one little trick you can do is if you actually hold down control when you're inside a square, or you can do it on a straight line as well. If you hold down control, it'll actually wrap the zoning all the way around. So I can literally just go in here and go click, 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 and zone the entire square. Now, let's have a look where that oil map was again. Although we have taken down the Amiga Corp now, so we probably don't need to do that. That's the main reason why I actually wanted to build it. Do I really want to... What do I want to do with this city? I mean, the thing is you really need to specialise, and my thought with the Omega Core was maybe I should make this into a sort of industrial city that's producing me lots of money. Now, we've got oil, but we don't have any minerals here. Of course, we could buy them from a neighbouring city in the region, but we're only playing a one-city game at the moment, so I can't really do that. What have we got here? Is it telling me to do something, or is it just flashing for no apparent reason? It's just flashing for no apparent reason. That's good. That's what we like to see. You're totally sick. You live 3 buildings away from the clinic. So, go to the clinic. Clinic is open. And has 2 ambulances. Admittedly, I did buy an extra ambulance, which I really didn't need to, because it comes with 1. Now, we are going to have to build the fire station as soon as we can afford it. Now, this is one of the issues I used to have in the game originally, is that if you had a fire station, and let's say you added some extra fire trucks, you had 4 fire trucks, you could have 4 fires in your city, and all 4 fire trucks would decide they were going to attend 1 fire, and let the other 3 burn down. I'm really hoping they've solved that issue. So, it looks like City Hall's going to start telling us that we need to have police. With reports of some... Oh, Dr. Vu. This is part of the DLC which you received for pre-ordering the original SimCity. You've basically got a superhero and a supervillain. It's going to want us to build Maxis Man. Yes, Maxis Man is not all that useful, so I'm going to say no. We may build him later on, but he's pretty pointless. He's just kind of like a super police force, but he does require a bit more direction. He's very versatile, but he's only 1 man. Sometimes it's just better to have lots of police around. So, residential calls pretty much sorted now. We could do with a tiny bit more residential. Now, I did say I was going to avoid building straight lines and squares. So far, we haven't managed to do that. Maybe we'll save that for another city. Let's build another straight line up here. Let's go to there, and we will find our zoning tool again and just make a little bit more residential. Again, hitting control just lets me do the entire inside of that nice and easily. There's a bit more of a demand for medium wealth residential, which is probably going to be the area that's over here around the town hall. Now, we've got a lot of space here that we're not using. I'm doing that purposely, because there are some extra buildings you can get for the town hall, and they do take up quite a lot of space, and they will need to go on the side. So there is a reason why I'm not actually putting anything in these spaces here. And some of these houses will upgrade to medium wealth anyway, because they are close to this pond. We've got a little bit of industry. We could build some more. Now, this was another thing. I know it sounds like I'm doing a lot of complaining about this game, but I do enjoy it, and it was some of the things that were wrong with it in the original that actually stopped me from playing it. Was that you didn't actually need industrial or commercial. Somebody actually did a trial and made a video of it. I believe it's still on YouTube somewhere, where they made a city that only had residential. I don't even think they had power or sewage or anything. All they literally did was build houses, and their population grew and grew and grew. So it was totally possible. Hopefully they've fixed that now, and they've made the simulation a little bit more bearable. Getting a bit more of a demand for commercial now. Hardly surprising, we've got more houses here, so let's go ahead and pop some commercial along there. Do we have enough for the fire department yet? We are definitely going to need one. 20,000. We're still a bit short. Don't want to put taxis up anymore. Let's go up to cheetah speed. I think we're not really waiting for an awful lot to happen. We are getting 1,951 simoleons per hour, which is quite a decent amount. What do you want? We need high wealth workers who will drive research into new technologies. First step on a brand new futuristic road is attracting wealthy workers. Well, I'm going to say yes. I don't think there's a loss for doing it. So, plot multiple high wealth parts to increase high wealth land value. So it is saying that we need 5 high wealth houses and 10 high wealth workers. Well, that's totally feasible. So let's go ahead and build our fire department now, and we are going to put it down on this side of the road. And I don't think we're going to need anything else. What does the bell do? Oh, dispatches fire trucks twice as fast. We are going to need that as soon as possible. We're not going to build an extra fire truck yet. Yep, okay, brilliant. So at least we have the fire station now. saying we actually have fires, which we do. Hopefully you're going to go and put that out before it burns down the entire town. Got an ambulance there, holding up the traffic. Not entirely sure why. And do we have enough for the bell yet? Where's our money? Yes, we do, just. So let's go and put the bell on the roof. And get out of there. What's it telling me there? All trucks are responding to fires. Yep, there they go. Got 2 houses on fire now. But they are putting the fire out. That looks really strange at that speed. Actually, it looks really strange at normal speed as well. But they're doing a good job. Not too sure what this guy's doing here. Ashley Giordano came from the Trey's residence. See, even the little individual firemen have names if you can actually manage to click on them. And off they go. Sometimes these houses will end up abandoned, as these ones are, because they were destroyed in a building fire. So what we need to do is just destroy both of them, and they will get rebuilt, because that just destroys the building, but the area is still zoned, so we're all good. I've broken my leg. Someone call me an ambulance. Well, there are ambulances available. Now, we've got the rail on this side as well. So, our trade depot, that's the one downside. Our trade depot might end up being up here, which is quite a long distance away from our industry. Of course, we could have a trade depot here and use the water, which is another possibility. So, the only thing we're really missing now is the police and... Well, actually, we're missing quite a bit. We're missing police. We're missing waste disposal, which is basically garbage collection. And we're also missing education as well. A little bit longer before we get that going. How are we doing with Town Hall? We need 5,000 residents before we get the next City Hall upgrade. Fair enough. How are we doing at the clinic? Because we've still got someone up there with a broken leg. Patient's being treated too. So we've still got plenty of space there. Let's have a quick look at the maps. We've got a massive excess of power, which is good. We've got an excess of water, and the sewage capacity is absolutely fine. Now, do we really want to bother trying to get any high wealth houses at all? Because it says try and get 5 high wealth houses. Well, we could try and turn some of these into high wealth. So what we could try and do is go into high wealth plazas. We could take something like this. That should leave us enough room to expand City Hall. And actually, we've got something that's not quite so obtrusive. Something like that. I don't want to destroy the houses, but it does have to be on a road. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try putting it... Oh! Big fingers, click the wrong button. Let's try putting it there, just to see what happens. So that should increase the wealth of some of these houses. Of course, it is going to affect the commercial as well, a little bit. We might see a little bit less of these pizza places. There we go, already one has changed. I do love the sign. Get a pie full. We're making a lot of profit. And what have we got here? Gas and Sass. It's a vacant business. Big Fat O Donuts. Wonderful. Right across from the posh houses. Pizza place and a donut place. Okay. So we've got a couple of parks now. You're still sick. Well, why are you sick? Go and get an ambulance. Okay. Let's speed things along a little bit more. So the issue we've got now is actually money. We're doing quite well. I think the big thing we need to do, though, is get a trade depot. So we can actually start selling freight. We won't make a lot of money from that. I'm still trying to decide whether or not it's worth having oil. There's nothing to stop me. There's nothing to stop me getting the oil now and then respecializing later on once the oil is gone. So that may well be what I end up having to do. Which would mean having a trade depot. Let's have a look. Let's just slow this down a little. Where's my trade depot? That's under... specializations, I think. Trading. Trade depot. 10,000. So I'm going to have to take out another bond. But we could do that. Oil wells are 37,500. Well, we're going to need the trading depot first. We're also going to need the police. So I think we are going to end up taking out another bond. So let us do that. So, first things first, trading depot, let's get that up and running. Now, ideally, this needs to be either close to the rail or the water, but we don't have that luxury at the moment. Well, I guess we could do. We could put it up here on the avenue. Doesn't give us a lot more room for expansion. Let's put it there anyway. So, we've got our trading depot here. And it already comes with one lot of storage for normal freight. We can put oil storage on there later. Just thinking, actually, maybe this isn't the one that needs to connect to the rail line. Maybe I'm thinking of the other one. I bet I am, aren't I? Yeah, it's the trade port. It's the trade port that can connect to the rail or the water. Not to worry, it'll still do absolutely fine just there where it is. It just means that the trucks will take a little bit longer to get to it. So what we are going to do is add another truck. So let's just put that around the back. Now, let us get our... What do we need? Police is what we needed next. We've got fire. It's helped reduce the crime. Let's go back to our city view. And we will have police station. Not enough simoleons. How expensive is a police station? 30,000. Wow. Okay, we're not having the police just yet then. We don't actually need them. We are going to need garbage collection, although nobody's started complaining about that yet. It's only 9,000 for a garbage dump, which is quite reasonable, I think. Haven't really got many places we can fit it in, to be honest, though. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take some roads, and we are going to extend these out a little. And probably build... Need quite a bit of space here for industry to expand, but I think what we'll do is build a road out this way. Looks almost like a straight line. And then we will go to garbage and garbage disposal and pop that down right here. And the best things to do, there's two ways that you can actually get rid of the garbage. You can either have a dump zone, or you can have an incinerator. Now, the incinerators are quite expensive, but getting one of those would certainly help out with things. So we're going to put down another truck, and as soon as we can afford it, we're going to put an incinerator in, until we can get garbage atomizers. But of course, it's ControlNet, and that's all very futuristic, and that's a bit out of our reach at the moment. Let's get this simulation sped right up again. At least we can start collecting the garbage now, so that is a good thing. We're not getting much as far as population growth goes. We don't have an awful lot of money either, so I think what we're going to do is build a few more houses. Let's have a look, see where the oil was again, just so we can leave some space for residential. I'm now struggling to find my oil map. There we go. So, right next to City Hall is an option. So, it's mainly out here. So, we could build lots of residential over this side and still be fine with that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do then. Let's take some roads. And let's build some residential over here. And then we can build our oil in this area. So, let's get zoning. Of course... You know, the more residential you have, the more tax dollars you can collect. Let's just go all the way around there, actually. It's always worth zoning extra stuff, because providing your infrastructure can cope with it, because remember, the more houses you have, you're going to have more potential fires, you're going to have more population who possibly are going to require more police, and obviously more water and power and things like that. But because zoning's free, and because you will get tax money from residents, it's well worth zoning as much residential as possible. Which is exactly what I'm doing here. As you can see, it hasn't taken long at all for a lot of people to move in, which increases the population quite a bit. And that will all help the income, which as you can see is already going up. 1,585 per hour, 1,607 per hour, 1,662 per hour. So our income per hour is going up and up. Now, how much did I say it would cost me to get one of those fancy garbage burners? 25,000. Okay, fair enough. As you can see, we are already starting to fill up. We've got 5.5 of a total 70 tons here. I could take out another bond, but I want to avoid doing it. We are probably going to need another fire truck, though. And I know that seems like a bit of a waste because I'm saving up, but things do start burning down. Now, it says fire coverage for neighbours available. Again, this is because if you've got multiple cities in a region, you can actually sell your excess fire and health services to them, and education. There's all sorts of things that you can do between neighbouring cities. And now it's just a bit of a waiting game while we wait for our population to grow and expand. I think we will get an oil derrick in here. Certainly think it could help out. We'll probably extend this avenue out, actually, and might then have a road running from the avenue down to the oil derricks. That way we can actually go directly from the oil wells up to the avenue and straight into the trade depot. Then later on we can get rid of the trade depot and have a trade port, because the trade depot becomes a little bit redundant. The trade port is bigger and can connect to the rail and can connect to the water. This is the thing with these cities. And the way the map design works in this version of SimCity, because the maps are already pre-built, you have to work with the land you've got. You can't just go in and landscape it and make everything flat and ideal. You've got to kind of do it in this manner. Okay, I'm just going to slow things down because we have a couple of things that are happening here. Okay, these now want us to build the Dr. Vu lair. So not only do you get to build the Maxisman Manor, so the good guys building, you also get to build the bad guys one as well. Now this is going to be a mission. Firework fun. My friends and I want to do a fireworks show for everyone, which is absolutely fine, but we've got to make sure we have a certain... have less than 5 fires. In 7 hours, we've got to have less than 5 fires. Now what I'd also like to do then is build another fire station. Can't quite afford it yet, but it'll be worth it. If we can pull this off for the extra money that we get, it will be worth it. So as soon as we get to 7 PM, we should have enough money in the bank to be able to build another fire truck. Why do I not have enough money to build a fire truck? There we go. So we're going to build another fire truck. Brilliant. See, we've already got a fire here. The jalapenos, oddly enough. I'm healed. What a great hospital. It's not a hospital, it's a clinic. See, now we have 2 fires. Now, ironically, they're right next door to the fire. No, it's one building. It's just a very big building. And I think this is one of the ones that's... These big ones have only just appeared because they were all like the pizza places and the gas places. They've all become a little bit more upmarket since we put this sculpture garden down here. And now it's actually on fire. Mediocre food. Okay, there we go. Moderately priced food. Fair enough. Okay, so now we've got one building that's burnt down already. We have a residential house on fire on the other side. Now, when it says less than 5 fires, I think it means in total all at the same time. So we should be okay. So let's bulldoze that. Can we get rid of that? Oh, it's still on fire, so we can't bulldoze it yet. Okay, so a lot of things are lighting up. Health, right, what's going on here? You are at max capacity. Police, we don't have any yet. Fire, we know you are responding to lots of fires. It's all going to go wrong. Okay, 5 of 5 fires extinguished per day. Well, we haven't failed it yet, and there's 4 hours left. Right, now we should be able to destroy that. Nope, still on fire. Get rid of that one. Is it just the same building burning down again and again? Does that even count? Right, do we have any fires anywhere else? I don't think we do. So we might be good. We've still got an abandoned building, which is this one, which is still being put out. Oh, it's getting scary now. Okay, we can get rid of that one. Brilliant. How long have we got left? 3 hours left. Let's speed things up a little. Not an awful lot I can do about it now. If you pretty much always get this particular mission when you build a fire station, so it's well worth making sure that you do have at least a couple of extra fire trucks before you accept the mission, just to give you a fighting chance of being able to deal with it. So as you can see, we've got a few buildings that are on fire, or have been on fire. So there's another one. That's going to be another one there. Okay, getting lots of notices for stuff, various different crimes. You're at capacity. Well, if we get the 50,000 reward for this, and there's only 1 hour left, I think we're going to do it. Possibly. Let's speed things up. A lot of things building down. Building down, burning down. A lot of buildings burning down. There we go. Stop letting your fireworks off. It's 2 AM. Okay, must be finished by now, surely. Yep, it doesn't say that there's any time left. Come on, we need the money. We need the money. And then we have to build police. We have to build additional waiting capacity at the clinic. It's all going to get very, very expensive. Okay, that's abandoned. That's abandoned. They will rebuild, so it's not the end of the world. And I think as soon as these last fires are put out, we should be good. Oh, you're not on fire, are you? Yeah, okay. No, good. You're not on fire. Come on, fire people. I need my money. Let's speed things up a little. At least cheater speed works now. There we go. That's worked. Because when I first started playing this game, cheater speed was disabled because the servers couldn't handle it. But there we go, 50,000 simoleons. So what are we going to do with that? Well, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to build more waiting capacity at the clinic so we can handle more people. We are also going to go over here because we are filling up with garbage, and we are going to buy a incinerator. Now, of course, this does cause a bit of air pollution, but the wind should be blowing it this way, away from our residential, which is very good. And that leaves us with 26,000 in the bank, which isn't quite enough to buy a police station yet, but it will be in a little while. So there we go. I think that is time to call that a video. We've managed to get a few of our facilities in. We still have a few wrecked buildings. Let's just get rid of those. Is it just the one? One abandoned building. Any more? Yep, just takes a little while for it to update. So, there we go. Not too sure I made the right choice about getting rid of that Omega Corp. We can always build it again later on once we get some oil coming in, but we don't have any ore, so it's probably a little bit pointless. But there we go. We're now up to 3,500 people in Vaultville. And I'll see you guys next time. So until then, goodbye for now.